Welcome to our 5-part series where we're exploring some of the emerging trends that we're seeing in information technology. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the more recent cyber attacks that we've encountered and sharing our experience about them and some ways that you can be ready to deal with them in the event they present themselves to you. Now, we look at the Verizon breach report. We look at the FBI cyber incident report, and we even see some of these things happen in the context of our day to day. So we think we have some good information to share and some ways that you can help defend yourself against the worst. We recently held an in-person cybersecurity panel, and on that panel was a member of the FBI, and he had some very insightful things to say. Among them was that the most common trend in security attacks is business email compromise. And the losses reported from fraudulent wire transfers and other financial transactions as a result of this were in excess of $10 billion in 2022. So how can you be prepared for this? Know that the business email compromise typically originates from a phishing campaign. Now, these are targeted or broad attacks with email that come to a user's inbox that will carry either a link or an attachment that could potentially introduce a threat into the environment. So you need to start being extra suspicious because while this is not new, the intelligence and the personalization and the creativity with which this content is created is new. No longer can you just identify bad grammar or bad spelling as a telltale sign that this is a threat. They're going to look real. So as I said, be suspicious. Now, when you receive a suspicious email, our advice has always been and still is to call the sender to make sure that it's real. But what you don't want to do is click a link that might have their number or their email or contact information in the potentially suspicious email. Because another trend, which is we refer to as spoofing, is very persistent within these threats. And when you click those numbers, even though they may represent that they'll take you to a certain place or a certain contact or extension, they're likely just going to take you further down the wrong road. So pick up the phone and manually dial in order to confirm that the person is who they say they are. Another thing to be aware of that we're seeing a lot more often is fake tech support calls. So if your IT support company or your software vendor or Microsoft or Apple or one of your trusted partners is calling you out of the blue and asking for access to your machine, don't give them access. And again, contact that vendor or that partner directly to validate that they are who they say they are. Because if you're getting a call out of the blue, and especially if they want access to your machine, it's potentially a bad actor and you need to stay away from it. So in summary, the bad guys are getting more creative. They're getting more intelligent. They're using technology to try to trick us into doing things that they want us to do. Security is no longer just set it and forget it. You need to have good training. You need to have fake phishing campaigns and other technologies that you can run in order to potentially, or in order to train your users on the right behaviors at the right time. So our advice would be to stay informed, be proactive, and above all else, always be suspicious.